Okay, so we love it when we hear, because then we know we're not talking to an empty room. Okay, so now, what comes next? Once again, we remind you that we're taking a journey in consciousness and using contact as the vehicle through which this journey can be taken. So we will be jumping back and forth with awakening the consciousness and contact. There's so many angles we can take. We're going to actually use an example from one of the decades of contact work that we have helped the channel experience. Because in the 80s and part of the 90s, a lot of it was here, where the consciousness was trying to break through, but didn't yet understand, because the collective consciousness of Earth was not at that place at that time. The consciousness was not yet understanding the greater scope of contact, so it was looking for the ships in the sky. I see a UFO, or there's this being on the ground. And as we have outlined for you today, that is not the foundation. So the 80s, the 90s was a lot of that. The 2000s came, and from our point of view, we began to shift the contact work. And we began to help groups have a different type of experience that would be an experience above the jelly band. So what kind of experience is this? The beings who began to come in contact work at that time, most of the time were not singular beings like Sasha standing there poking you. It was beings or groups of beings that represented collective consciousness. So for those of you that maybe have read Prism of Lyra, or you know of some of this channel's work, you know we speak of a group called the Founders, who are like original architects, but they are massive group. We don't even want to say group consciousness. Let's say they represent like the first levels of fragmentation from the one. And they manifest often, well, we don't want to say they manifest. People perceive them as praying mantis, or the long, spindly, tall light beings with big heads and big eyes. These beings were coming in the 2000s with the groups to help them be able to recalibrate to the frequencies of this collective energy, to remind you again of who you really are, not you as the separate self, but you as the one.